This is Blue coming back at you. And I'm coming back at you today to talk to you today about the beauty of our African American men today here in America. I have had the opportunity to be graced in my life with the opportunity to sit out with Dr. Joseph Benyaka. I have studied many years with some materials and things from Ashua Kwesi. I studied under him for many years. He probably never knew that about me, but I loved Ashua Kwesi, Dr. Coleman, Dr. Clark, Dr. Jackson, Ivan Van Sertiman, Sheikh Akadib, William Chancellor. We have today, we have Frederick Douglass as some of the movement that we have had in America, for the liberation of the black people. And we also have Marcus Garvey and Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, and we have many more that we could mention on and on and on. And then today, in our world today, we call this the conscious movement, the conscious world for us as black people. And in that, we still have a manner in which we must conduct ourselves. Because remember, we're still leading, we're still leaders. And how we choose to lead will determine how our children will turn out. Now, if we're leading by showing things that are inappropriate for the conduct of our children, such as, a sticky subject, but let's keep it real. Things that deal with sex, it has to have an appropriate time and place. Appropriate dress for our children according to appropriate age, as well as appropriate conversation. And so when we think about leading, we must look back on our great leaders that have left a foundation and left a history for us to follow, a legacy there for us to look upon and see the conduct in which we are to conduct ourselves. Now, there has been some things that I have seen there on the YouTube. I understand about the Sinetta world and the Polight world and, Dr. Umar world. These are some of the younger upcoming conscious leaders in our community today. And, just some of the things that I have observed in all of the gentlemen's demeanor. I would dare to say that a standard of behavior is required. Now, they all have their different leagues in which they run in. But we all know that Dr. Umar is Dr. Umar. And we all know that Polight is Polight. And we all know the other gentlemen as well. The Sinetta world as well. And we all participate. But let us not forget what the reason is here. The reason is for life and life eternally in our children and our children to come. So it behooves us not to govern ourselves and accordingly when we lead and how we lead, in the language and the imagery that we demonstrate thereof. Because remember, that is the record that will be left here today. I must say this. There was a young man that stopped by one of my business locations one day. He was getting out of high school. And I was kind of concerned with his behavior, but I didn't say anything. But I just wanted to let the young man let him know one day. I said, young man, I said, today in our world society, our black men have been whipped on every hand, and we have overcome by great obstacles. We are still here, and we have made it from A to Z. The forefather of this foundation we know is Africa. We are here today only because of the greatness of that our ancestors have laid down the foundation here for today. I said, but today we see our black men bent over on all four, and they call each other bitches. But the only thing that I know, according to Webster's dictionary, is a female dog. And we all know that if man and man mix with one another, the chemical is shown, it is proven there today. Science, it is proven man and woman. So we must be careful of the words in which we speak, in the imagery that we may portray, that it may not come across in any manner other than that which is just, that which is pure, that which is kind, and that which is of a good rapport. Other than that, it'll look as if man unto man instead of man unto woman. The words in which we speak and the manner in which we conduct ourselves. Now that is the history of that. Now I just want to touch back on that just a moment so that I may finish that portion of that piece when I told the young man. I was telling the young man that to let him know that, you know, when man and woman have intercourse, the man passes so much of his blood, liters of blood, into the woman. That woman becomes his woman, period. And if the man does the same, can only do that in the bowel area, then that man becomes that man. And then you can look at that man and you can see the chemical makeup in that man. And the cord therein, his voice will begin to change. The chemical makeup in the man will begin to change, just as that woman will become that man's man. That man will become that man's bitch. Because you can only do that. And men then have to bend over and walk on all four in order to become that. So our men are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black men. We don't have any reason, nowhere, shape, form, or fashion. The black man is the great divider. He is the mighty hunter. This has been proven in history and in time since the beginning of time. And all we got to do is visit the motherland and we will see and have an eyewitness account for ourselves that it is the black man and the black woman that is the beginning and is the end. And until we keep ourselves in line and in accordance with universal law, then and only then we rise, and to that place we will stand. Black man in the front, every other man to that, he must stand himself in line. African proverbs say, man, know thyself, and to thine own self be true. Hotel.